What's up? This is the Denning Podcast. My name is Jake Denning. On this episode, I speak with Collin Patrick Walsh of Grayscale, who have announced their brand new album, The Hart, which drops January 31st of next year. There's currently 5 different songs out across streaming platforms, including brand new single, Kept Me Alive, which is out today. We talk about the journey the band's been on over the last few years, and we dive into what the new record's all about. If you know anything about this band, then you know how much they bring it, especially live. I've been privileged to see them numerous times since they've started touring heavily, and there's so much more they have yet to do. If you haven't heard of the band yet, then definitely pause this right now and do a deep dive and check out their last few albums and then come right back to this. If you want to support the show and what I'm doing here, the best way is to spread the word, whether it's across social media or in person. Every single mention does go a long way, and I really appreciate it. If you're looking to go a step further, go check out SeatGeek, which is one of the leading third-party ticketing platforms out there across the internet. I've personally used them for cheap last-minute tickets, whether that's baseball tickets, basketball tickets, whatever. What you see is what you pay, and everything is super transparent. First-time users can get $20 off their order by using promo code Denning. Again, that is promo code Denning. And with that said, this is my conversation with Collin Patrick Walsh of Grayscale. Enjoy.
You're good.
Yeah, dude. But hey, have you been home for a while? Or are you just coming off the road?
We've been home for a bit. We were with Boys Like Girls like late summer, so we've been home for a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, because like anecdotally speaking, I feel like you guys have been touring nonstop for the last like couple years at least.
Yeah, I mean we have. It's been like. It's been a good amount for sure. I think it's exciting now though with with having a new record and new music that's been rolling out, a new record coming. It's been exciting to kind of get ready for those types of tours. I feel like there's a little bit of a different sentiment with like that kind of stuff, whereas otherwise just supporting and playing some of the older stuff. So we're looking forward to to be honest, we've toured a good amount, but I think even 2025 is going to be like a lot.
Yeah, because I think about like, okay, even from like when you guys played So What in Texas, it's like you guys stomped on the gas pedal. It's like, okay, there was an All Time Low tour, another headliner, and then another
we did that
tour
co-head with
Small Pools. I mean, there was like so many. Yeah,
that co-head with Small Pools. Well, I think
there was another one.
All Time Low.
There was the one with.
Well, there's Band Camino UK.
Oh, okay.
It was All Time Low, or it was Band Camino UK, then All Time Low, or I can't remember the order. We did the Small Pools co-head. What else was there?
There was the
Boys Like Girls was like.
Who is the hip hop kid you guys toured with?
We did we Garden was like a
that one.
We did like a co-headline with that was a while ago, but yeah, that was a little bit ago. That was before all of that, all of like the ones we just named. But yeah, that was a bit ago.
Yeah, so it feels like you guys have been touring just nonstop.
Yeah, we tore a good amount. I think honestly, 2025 is going to be like pretty hardcore for touring. So yeah, we're stoked, man. We love touring though.
Yeah, I mean, like, what do you do when you're home? Just to like relax and kind of just stay sane.
Write music, work out a lot.
Good.
Watch sports, try to be outside as much as I can. That's just kind of like make music, work out, try to read, try to be in the sun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's been on the playlist lately?
That Fontaine's DC album. I don't know if you know that band.
No, but I've heard that mentioned a few times.
Yeah, Fontaine's DC is sick, dude. That's like all I've been listening to that a ton. What before that? That's there's this band called Wonder Horse. So they're both like British, or one's Irish, one's British, but Wonder Horse and Fontaine's DC are the two bands I've been kind of listening to a lot recently.
Yeah, anything older or like?
What's that?
Anything like older, like in the 90s or like 2000s kind of stuff you're going back to, or?
Oh, I mean, those two bands are current. As far as like older stuff, I mean, I always kind of have I always have a rotation of like that go back to like, classic rock shit that I love or 90s stuff that I love. But like, I would think primarily kind of those two bands has been what I've been listening to the most for sure.
For sure. And do you like primarily run? Do you guys lift or?
I lift, dude. I hate running.
Yeah.
I feel like I have to do it more, but I feel like it's kind of funny. Like me and it's kind of towards the end of lockdown, we kind of all like just like as a joke, because Andrew, our guitarist, is like buff and like lifts a lot. He's like a big boy.
Yeah.
But like Dal, Nick, and I are like less in terms of like ability to move weight around, like much less stature. So it became like a bit of like, oh, we're gonna catch up to Andrew. And so like it kind of started as a joke, and then it became like we all lift like probably 4 or 5 times a week, like, and just like on tour we try to lift together as much as we can. And it's just we've been like, I don't know, I feel like as a band we like, it kind of started as a joke that we would one day outlift Andrew, which is not possible because he could probably like squat more than I can with one leg versus me with both, and same thing with like arms and shit. But we've been doing a lot of lifting, man.
I love it though. I mean, like, do you feel like the band has gotten better or like tighter live because of it? Like even in a subtle way?
I don't know. I mean, I think Nick and I before tours train our cardio. We always have like drums and vocals. So it's like, I think we've always we'll play basketball in the summer, or we're like run on the treadmill in the winter, fall, whatever, like in preparation for a tour. For cardio, I wouldn't say that like I wouldn't say lifting specifically like makes us tighter as performers, but I do think there's a cardio element to drums and vocals that like Nick and I have always sort of built up our wind as best as we can kind of before every tour, for sure. I think more so it's just like that, the health of like, just like mentally, like throwing weight around or running or whatever. Like,
totally.
Like while you're on tour, especially when you're locked in a bus or a van or whatever. So it's definitely super helpful.
Yeah, especially singing is hard too. I mean, like just doing it, like, oh, I can sing. Like, no, you can't. Like, it's just keeping your breath and like singing well and then moving around. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of cardio that goes into it. It's a lot of technique, and I think it's one of those things that I've learned in like practice of like, the better shape you're in, it allows you to like when singers hurt their voice. I know this because I used to do it all the time. I used to lose my voice literally almost every night, like in the early days of Grayscale, because I didn't know what the hell I was doing. But before any kind of like extensive vocal training, I would when you slip out of like the proper technique, it can happen pretty quickly. You can blow your voice out pretty quickly. So having solid cardio is a good way to like, it makes it that much easier when your breathing's intact. That's so much of it. It's kind of like when you're like, if you think of it like inflating like a balloon when you breathe, if you're able to kind of stay at like 70% full and just kind of like bounce between 70 and 100% or 60 and 100%, like that's so much better for your lungs and like your delivery and your technique than it is if you go from 100 all the way down to 10% and back up. Like that motion of like filling up like a balloon is what kind of like wears you out. As far as like your insides, and that leads to like compensating with your throat incorrectly, and that's kind of what I would do all the time when I lost my voice. So I think a combination of like good technique and good cardio, like being in shape, kind of go hand in hand. I found, for me at least.
And totally. I mean, you know what's up too, because you've been touring extensively since like what, 2017?
Yeah, 2017.
Yeah, because I was looking back and I'm like, that tour you guys did with Belmont was 5 years ago, which doesn't feel accurate, but then again, like, it is.
Yeah, it's weird. It's COVID's like this weird time suck, right? Where it's like everybody kind of just hit pause for like 2 years. Actually, probably more with like touring. It like felt like longer.
Yeah. And then
I feel like when shows came back, go ahead.
No, you look at like Umbra came out in 2021, which is like, that also doesn't feel accurate. And then you look back, oh yeah, that was.
Yeah, and it's crazy because we didn't even get to tour on that record. Like that was tough because it was like you put it out and then you just kind of like, all right, enjoy it, and there's nothing we can really do. It's like we'll play shows when we can, and it's kind of like we're really excited about this record because it's the longest we've gone between putting out 2 records. Like we've it's always been kind of 2 years pretty consistently. This will be like 3.5, almost 4. Well, it will be. I mean, we're putting out January 31st, 2025 is when this next record comes out, so it'll be. If Umber was 21, then it'll be about 4 years, which is a long time. And we're really excited. And it's also like alongside that, it's like, oh, we also get like a full cycle to tour on. Whereas with Umbra, it was like, you play shows when you can throughout COVID. So we're stoked, man.
I mean, do you feel like Umbra got its due? Because I feel like on my end, it's like it's one of those rare cases where people really connected with it in a big way, versus a lot of other records that were released during that time. People couldn't have cared less.
Yeah, it's tough. It's like, I think for like the time period, I think it was fortunate to get enough of a spotlight, whatever. It's kind of different. It's tough. Like, I know friends and bands put out music at the time, and I think for everybody, it felt a little bit not as, it felt a little bit less, spotlighted than records that weren't in COVID. I think everybody feels that way for the most part, but I wouldn't say it got like buried in a way. You know what I mean? Like, I don't feel that way about it either. I feel like it got like as much due as you can without the year and a half of touring immediately after.
Yeah, I mean, and you guys have a great team. You guys have always had a great team, whether it's working, with Fearless or, the dozens of publicists you've worked with in the past. I mean, is this the last record that's coming out on Fearless or?
No, Umbra was.
Oh, sick. Okay, so this is coming out.
Yeah, this is coming out on our label, baby.
Okay, yeah. Tell me about that. Like, what led to that kind of?
Yeah, we've always been super hands-on with everything that we do, and like we had a good relationship with Fearless. We had a good experience. I think we were kind of like, hey, we can. I mean, I think the landscape is different too for like a lot of like just the music industry in general. It's like, I think there's a lot of services that you can do, independently, and I think we're like obviously very close with the band, The Main, and like in many ways, Pat has like. And his brother Tim like have like not mentored in the sense of like walked through every single step, but they've like helped us a lot along the way with just like how to do it on your own type thing. We've taken a lot of influence for that band for so many reasons. They're such good people, and like we love them. We're close friends, and we're playing the 8123 festival in January. But I think they've had a lot of guidance as to like how to do it. And if you're like a hands-on band, which we've always been, it kind of was the natural next step that we sort of always had in mind and wanted to try. And we like put out Not Afraid to Die, our first single. Like, it was kind of a bridge single at the time because we didn't have the rest of the record written. We just had that song locked and loaded, and we put it out, and we're like, okay, this is cool. Like, you have control of everything. Like, you kind of are on your own timeline. Like, no one's telling you what you can or can't do. And we just started rolling with it, and we loved it. So so it'll be out ourselves, which we're super excited about. It's been
for sure, especially since like this is like kind of your time. Like, you guys haven't hit your ceiling yet, thank God. I'm looking forward to when you guys can sell out places like the Roseland by yourselves. Like, it's coming. I mean,
it's all process.
It's coming.
Yeah, it's all a process, man. It's been I think I'm really happy with a lot of the steps we've taken. We've like grown in a way that we're all like very, very happy with, very thankful for. We have a really like amazing, dedicated fan base. And like, I think we've been fortunate with what we've been doing, where we're able to sort of dance around in different, like we can tour with bands where we're like the heavier rock guitar band on like a more alternative leaning bill, or we can, I think like in the same year, it's like we'll play with whatever, like Nightly, and then we'll play with 4 Year Strong, and we're like kind of the opposite spectrum on a bill with 4 Year, we're like the poppy rock band, and with Nightly and or whatever, like that's just an example, we're more of like the guitar band. So it's like we float in this kind of space where like I've always liked that Grayscale sort of just exists in its own world, and it's like I think in many ways, again, like the Main sort of done a similar thing where it's like they can kind of bounce around, and definitely has been a cool thing for us. We like all kinds of music. We like being able to play with small pools. That's another example where it's like they're a little more like pop leaning, and then be able to like throw down with more rock, like rock leaning bands as well. So yeah, it's definitely. I think Graceful's always been like its own kind of little, like we just kind of exist in like our own little world. We just kind of do things the way we want, and that's something I'm very thankful for, to have like a great team and great people around me to be able to kind of have that, be able to just kind of do it the way we want.
Which is awesome, because you mentioned the Main. I mean, I can see them as very much, they're a band, but they're also a very solid brand as well. They do business very well. So again, you guys being
Totally.
so hands-on, especially with merch, like you guys have always been hands-on with merch. And
Yeah,
baby,
for
that stuff
sure.
flies. Hopefully,
Yeah,
hopefully the
man, it's
LLC is looking very, very nice these days.
yeah, yeah. No, it's cool. It's cool to be able to control all of it and like kind of continue to like build the team that you love around you and just like work with people and be yeah. We're thankful, man. We got a good thing going. We're very happy with a lot of things for sure, and we're really excited for what's coming. Like I said, it's like been a while since our last record, so we're really pumped.
Yeah, I mean, you have a variety of pre-sales out too. I mean, like that has to be a lot of pressure just getting coordinating that. It's like that's all you. That's
Yeah. Yeah, dude, it's always like I feel like before any kind of like pre-order drop, it's always like there's always some formatting fucking issue like
yeah.
20 minutes before the site goes live and you're like scrambling to fix it. But yeah, again, team's awesome, got it launched and like a lot of the first pressings almost entirely sold out, most of the variants sold out. So we're just like
Hell
continuing
yeah.
to
Let's go.
sell through pre-orders and we have record and merch and all kinds of stuff for pre-orders on sale now. And then we have our we're playing the whole record at our usually we do like a holiday show in Philly every year. And this year we're doing it again, but it's kind of more of like an early album release. So we're just gonna like rip the whole new record. And then we'll after that we'll kind of like play a bunch of other like songs in our discography, but we're stoked to like just rip it. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and I know you guys pop super duper hard on the East Coast as well. Like you guys are playing those bigger rooms. Is that true?
Sure.
Yeah, which is awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like it's kind of the primary markets, but I feel like yeah, like all of the Chicagos and the LAs and the Orlandos, like all of the ones you kind of expect, like it's always been really great for us. Florida's been so great for us. Chicago's always been good. I'm trying to think where else. Like San Francisco, Sacramento, that area has been solid too.
Yeah.
LA is cool, but I think yeah, there's something like the Philly, Asbury, New York. Like we get some really like just the shows are pretty bananas. It's definitely like exciting to play.
Yeah, I want to come back to that Camino
tour
you did in the UK. How was that for you guys?
It was sick, man. I mean, we're tight with those guys. Are good dudes. Like I'm a fan of the band, and we yeah, it was great. We played some really cool rooms that we had never played over in the UK, and we had a good time. It's weird because like playing England, it's like there's like 6 markets. Like it's never. It's like it's not like a US tour where you're slugging it out for like forever. And we only did the UK part. We didn't do the Europe part. So I mean, I think we literally played like might have been 6 shows, but it was great.
Yeah.
I mean, it was super fun, and like we love going over there. It's sick.
Because that's a band like I'm like if you guys came here in the States with that band, like oh my god, like that I would love to see you guys do that.
Yeah, maybe someday, man. They're a great band. We love playing with them. I mean,
what about like a different like maybe like a late 90s, early 2000s band, like maybe I don't know, hopping on tour with Third Eye Blind. I could see that working well, or maybe a Matt Nathanson.
Yeah, I would love that. I love Matt Nathanson too. Yeah, I love both his bands.
I saw him.
I mean, anything like that.
I've seen him like 3 times this year. He's so good.
Yeah, my dad loved him too. I feel like I remember my dad like showed me him, and I was like, "Damn, this dude rocks!" But
and he's so candid on stage too.
Yeah. No, I would love any iteration of that, man. That'd be sick. That'd be awesome. Hopefully someday for sure. I think it's like I said, it's cool to kind of bounce around like more like different kinds of alternative music. We're very grateful and thankful to be able to do that.
Yeah, speaking of bands that can also like plug in pretty much everywhere, Movements. I would love to see a tour with you guys just teaming up together. I mean, I could see the money just rolling in at that point.
Yeah. I don't know. We kind of signed to Fearless like we were on Fearless at the same time as Movements. I think we were like they had already had one release, I think, by the time we signed with Fearless. But yeah, I mean, we've played Sad Summer with them before. We've done like festival tours and like that'd be sick. It's they're a great band. That'd be fun.
Yeah, I mean, I've casually talked to other people like at shows like I'd love to see these guys tour together, and yeah, they've like for sure would want to see that tour. And
yeah,
even if it was just like both you guys by yourselves, like just bop play for an hour.
Sick.
I mean, that'd be super sick. Yeah, I mean, 2025 though, I mean, are you guys mainly doing support tours and then like maybe a headliner, or kind of what's the plan look like?
I think it's a lot. I think it's a lot of combination of both. Probably a lot of international. We're gonna hit. We kind of got screwed during COVID. I mean, everybody did. But we kind of got like messed up where we put up like a UK tour twice and then had to take it down twice just because of like a new variant. Like the timing of it, it was like,
right.
Oh, I think like, oh, we're gonna go put it up. Had to cancel because of another variant. Put it up again. Had to cancel because of whatever another variant. So it's like I'm excited to hit some of those markets that have been sort of like neglected. Like we haven't been able to headline in the UK since ever. We've never done it because we've played there 3-4 times, but every time we put up a headliner, it had to be taken down because of COVID. So it's like that would be sick. We want to try to get to Australia at some point. Just like hitting international markets, and I think probably some combination of like support and maybe at some point in the cycle like a headliner for this new record, The Hart. So yeah,
I mean, I'm super excited for you guys in general because you guys have been touring for so long, and it's your label, you're doing it, you guys are due to come to a big pop, make a lot of money. I mean, you guys are severely underrated.
Thanks, man. Yeah, no, we're happy. We're just like, we're enjoying the whole thing, man. And we're very thankful for where we're at like already, and plenty more stuff we want to work towards, but we're definitely happy with everything. I wouldn't change anything, man. Honestly.
For sure. Now with the record, I mean, there was such a large gap between records. The big theme of this record is growth. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think growth, and I think like authenticity. I think it's like I'll let you finish what you were saying.
Yeah. I mean, what are the biggest ways you guys have grown, either collectively or individually, in that kind of gap period?
I mean, I think so many people, it's like with so many times. Umbra was sort of written like as COVID was starting. Like I think we finished it up in COVID, recorded it, whatever. But it's not like it wasn't like a COVID record. And I think the latter half of lockdown, we spent so much time. It was this like a lot of parallel timings where like I went through a lot on a personal level. Like both my parents were like very, very ill, kind of back to back, for like a very, very long period. I think, the song Live Again on Umbra like alludes to like my dad, like kind of the beginning of his like illness. And then like I just had a lot of like really difficult things, like just like traumatic things happen in my life where like I was losing people I loved, and like, it was very difficult. And I think like a lot of people, there's a lot of, I have like people in my life that have addictions, and I think a lot of people with addictions struggle a lot with like the isolation part of lockdown. I think that had a lot of repercussions. It's a really difficult time, and I think it was this combination of like us as, like, going through a lot as people in our lives, the world being in a weird place, and us like, I think there was this real search for like, we want our next record to really reflect who we are, like more than we ever have, and be the most authentic thing we've ever written. And I think there was this kind of like, just writing songs and listening to the music coming out, it was like everything kind of felt the same and sounded the same, and nothing felt really like it was digging in super deep. And like we just felt honestly like very kind of uninspired by a lot of things. And it was just really like formidable, incredible time where it was like, let's channel some of the shit that we're all going through and put all of the like the love and friendship we've had for 15 fucking years or however long it's been together. And we've been friends for so long, and like it's one of those things when you know people for that long, it's like you've experienced everything together. Like those guys like in the band, like they know everything I've been through. I know everything they've been through. Like we've been through it all together. So it's like going through that, being locked down, and having this sort of like search for like the most authentic version of ourselves, which means relying less on the computer to write songs. Like a lot of our record, The Heart, was written like as a band, live, recorded. Like Not Afraid to Die, especially, that entire song, all of the instrumentation was basically recorded at the same time live. Like we didn't the traditional, kind of nowadays, like you punch in, you do just guitars and you do just drums, and it's like a lot of records are made that way, but we just really wanted it to feel like us, feel like a band. So we kind of eliminated a lot of like, less plugins, less presets, less computer, and more just like us with amps in a room. And all of the songs started with like us playing, pre-proing it out, like doing 20 takes of us in a room and recording it, and then taking that one as the bones of the song, then building on it in the studio. So that, I think that was like something that was different in the process. It was kind of like something that we would have loved to do on earlier records, but like, frankly, I don't think we were ready. Like, I don't think we were good enough as musicians, because it's like, in order to do that, you have to be really, really rehearsed. And it's like, you have to play it like, there's always going to be like the good imperfections, like the good shit. But it's like, I feel like to get it in a place where it feels like really, really well executed, you have to be very tight as a band. We've always like prided ourselves on how, how our live show is and how like dialed in it is. So it was kind of like, it was cool to put that to the test and have to like rehearse the absolute shit out of it before even getting into the studio, and then recording it all that way. And I think it just lended itself like to the whole theme of it. It's like so much of the music is very like super storytelling oriented. The visuals are like kind of the countryside around Philadelphia and the city we're from. And it's like, it just is like this really pure, authentic, deepest, like most meaningful version of our band that we've ever had. And I think we just it took time to like get there. It took that extra, I think while it took a while, it was like exactly, it's the most proud I've ever been of a record. And I know we all feel that way in the band, and we're like really excited for the world to, hear the rest of it. I think the singles like Not Afraid to Die was a good sort of indicator of what the feel is. And then I think Mum is as well, but it's obviously like a very deep ballad. And then, Summer Clothes and Let Go are a little more outliers in the sense of they're a little more, I don't know. They're like, Summer Clothes is more fun than the rest of the record. I guess my point is like, Not Afraid to Die and Mum sort of, I feel like are closer to like the DNA of the rest of the record. Like, I think the next singles coming out, you'll notice are like way more in line with that. I would say Summer Clothes and Let Go are a little more outliers, and that partially was intentional. It was like, let's give them a little bit of their record. Let's give them a little bit of like the more like, Let Go's got like this more sing-along song. Summer Clothes is more fun. And then like, before we continue to get deeper, like let's get closer to the record coming out before we deep more into like the story and the feel of it all. So that's kind of what's coming next. The next singles that we're rolling out this year.
Yeah, I got the green light to mention it, but Kept Me Alive comes out on the 25th.
Yeah.
I mean, that's very much in line with what you were saying. I mean,
exactly. That's one of those songs. Exactly. Very much so. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, does it feel weird to have like a fifth single kind of rolled out before the record's out, or?
I mean, like I'm a fan of like just listening to records straight through, but it's just kind of the way it is now. You know, it's like, it's just, you want to give each song like its moment and people to like hear it and hype up the record or whatever. And like, if it were up to me, it would be like you put out one or two singles and write the record out. But that's show business. That's show business in 2024, baby.
That's show biz, baby.
Nothing I can do about the Spotify people.
How satisfying was it to have Let Go finally release after playing it on tour this spring?
Yeah, it was good. We teased that one for so long.
Yeah, man. I was like,
played on tour, but
there we go.
No, it was sick, man. It was good. It was good to let it go, and it was. I mean, pun intended. It was good to release it finally. We teased that one for quite a bit, but yeah, it felt good. It was great. It's been like, it's a fun crowd song.
Yeah, it is for
sure live. Yeah,
it's like it drops and like, you know what, that shit was tight. I forgot about that. I'm glad it's out.
Right, yeah.
Is there a song off the record that we haven't heard yet that you're really, really, really itching to play live?
I love Kept Me Alive. I mean, honestly, I love the whole record. I love Kept Me Alive. I love the song called Through the Landslide, which is the second track, which we teased like a little snippet of. And then we removed it. I think I might be, I don't know if it's up or not still, because we like wiped our shit before we announced the record. But
so cryptic.
Yeah. But Through the Landslide, one of my favorites. The song that Don't Leave Me in the Dark that I love. Kept Me Alive, I love. Yeah.
You filmed a video last week, I think, right?
We did. How do you know that? It's top secret.
I mean, Nardwar told me. But was it for Kept Me Alive or?
It was for Kept Me Alive. Well, yes, it was for Kept Me Alive and more.
Okay.
Yes.
Is that coming out on the same day or?
I think so. I think that's the plan. Yeah.
Sick. Okay. Was there any people that you were hoping to work with on this record that, maybe just didn't ultimately work out, or any guest vocalists or guest writers or?
No, man, I think we had our team pretty like locked in. I think we like pretty much knew what we wanted, and we were able to execute it pretty much exactly how we wanted to be honest. Yeah.
Yeah. Which is great. I mean, it's again, when Not Afraid to Die came out, was the record titled The Heart at the time, or was it more of a self-titled?
Yeah, it was I think it was originally intended to be self-titled, and then it was
Yeah.
like all like the whole concept of like I kind of explained like this is the core, like when you drill it down, like this is really what like we're about
Mm-hmm.
sonically and storytelling and visually. And we had the idea of it being like the heart spelled normally, and then from that came the Hart, Hart, which is the spelling of like my grandmom's maiden name, and that's kind
Totally.
of like we felt like a lot of our families are like similar in a lot of ways, and I felt like that kind of it was like a it was a more personalized version of like this is the core of the story of this band and everything that we've been through together as people and artists, and here it is.
Which is, do you feel like that's why you've been able to maintain such a long career as a band? Is because you tell such in-depth and like rich stories through the music, or?
I think so, man. I mean, honestly, I think we've always just been like put the art first.
Yeah.
And I sound so like cliche, but it's like we never really give a shit about what anybody thinks. Honestly, it's like, and I don't mean that in like it's not cocky or arrogant in any way. It's just like, we write music that we love and is like really vulnerable and is the most vulnerable on this record than it's ever been. And
Yeah.
like put everything, that we have into it. And it's like, people like different songs for different reasons. And, this is what it's not really, we never go into anything being like, well, people are really going to like this or really like that. It's never been that way for any record. So it's, I think, I don't know, man. We've just been really lucky. We've been really lucky to have a really like amazing, dedicated fan base, like crazy fans in the best way. And it's been sick. And it's like, we just kind of get to do what we want. And it's like, I feel like we owe that to like our fan base, just to keep doing what we do and like keep refining ourselves and keep giving everybody this thing to like relate to and love as much as we do. And that's our only goal at the end of the day, is just be the best version of ourselves and make the best art we can make.
Definitely. I mean, like, it's, again, people can relate to so many different songs in the catalog, whether it's like something like Just Right or even something a little more darker like Painkiller Weather or
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, have you ever considered or like chewing on the idea of writing about something that's not personal or like almost fictitious, so it's less painful?
No, I mean, I think like Summer Clothes and Let Go, for example, like they are personal, but they're not as painful. It's like, you know what I mean? Like, or there's lines that are per se, but they're not like, there's a depth to Mum that isn't present in like Summer Clothes.
Yeah.
So I think it's more so like, you're still telling an authentic story. It's still authentic to our band, but it's not something that I'm going to like literally cry during, recording it like I did for other songs. So it's like, I just think that balance is kind of like, you kind of need one to have the other. Like if everything is dark and sad all the time, or if everything is playful, I think you kind of lose the effect. So we've always tried to cater it like I think this record, there's a ton of energy. There is a fair amount of darkness, and it's sad in some songs, like very sad, but I think it's also like you're overcoming difficult things and it's triumphant. You know what I mean? So I think like Through the Landslide as an example, like it is dark, but I wouldn't say it's like sad. I think there's a whole like gamut of emotions throughout the record.
Yeah, I think that's ultimately kind of one of the bigger themes for the band in general, is that we, have all these different chaotic things that happen, but at the end of the day, people are here for you, whether it's your community or other people online, like you have people there for you to kind of see you through and walk you through it.
For sure.
And that there's the nostalgia bit too, where again, like, you got a song like Just Right where, people have had situations like that where, a beginning, middle, and end of a relationship and whatnot.
Sure.
It's like, that was tight.
Yeah, of course. Definitely.
Yeah. I mean, with this new label though, I mean, that opens the door to a lot of other possibilities. Maybe even like a cover EP or an album, like.
Yeah, I mean, or acoustic or what, like we can kind of just do whatever we want, which is like sick.
Yeah.
And again, it's like I've had great experiences on labels before. Like we weren't like some band that's like scorned and hates labels. It's not that way at all.
No, it's just your time.
We just love being able to rock it the way exactly how we want and kind of only answering to like ourselves and our team. It's cool, man.
No, I gotta push on this a little bit further here, but you guys were covering "She's So High" by Ty Bachman a couple years
Yeah.
ago at the end of the
Yeah, our
set.
holiday show.
Now,
Yeah.
was that it was kind of God, it was a couple years ago.
Yeah.
But were you guys kind of prepping for a Punk Goes compilation with that, or
No,
just kind of like,
no. We kind of been doing that like each like holiday show we do, like our big Philly show, we'll pull something out, like some song we just love. Honestly, that's kind of been the thing. But that's kind of it. There's nothing really like to it. It wasn't really for anything.
yeah, because I've always had that like Fearless is up to something,
No,
and they
no.
because it's like okay, but yeah, because you guys played that on that it was the Garden tour. That's what it was. You
Oh
guys,
yeah.
You closed out with that, and I was like,
Yeah.
what the
No,
hell?
we just love doing like covers, like just cause, man, just for the love of the game.
No, because I mentioned that I was like, yeah, Fearless is up to something. Like Grayscale just came out with this like snippet of a cover, and like they're like, nah, there's no way.
No, no.
I like it, but
Yeah.
I'd love to see like
Thanks,
a
bro.
90s Go cover. I mean, you guys
For
would
sure.
crush remember that song Roll to Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys would smash that song.
Thank you, bro.
Like
Appreciate you.
even like a short 3 to 4 song EP of covers.
Yeah,
That'd
be
be
sick.
fun.
I love that.
Cuz you have that holiday show coming up at the end of the year, like you're playing the album straight through. Any other like surprises outside of like, classics?
You'll have to see, man. It's top secret.
I mean,
top secret information.
I'm not flying out. I mean, I can't, but
Yeah. Well, people who come will have to they'll find out when they're there.
presumably it's sold
Yeah.
out, right? Like
Well, we just put it up. I don't think
Okay.
it's sold out yet. It's I think like the pre-sale did or whatever, but it's rolling. It's like we're excited, man. It's gonna be sick. I actually forgot to, but I actually have a Heart out in like a minute.
okay. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
No. I think that's great though. But yeah, what is the most important thing that people just kind of pick up from the album after listening to it for the first time?
Yeah, that's a great question, dude. I think just like, I mean, I always hope that it lets people kind of reflect on, like, it's gonna hit you and it's gonna mean to you whatever it's supposed to mean. You know what I mean? And I just think it's like, I just ask, it's like, listen to it straight through the first time, like with or without a friend, but like kind of uninterrupted, put your phone away and just like rip it and enjoy it. And I think it's just like, it's just a, commentary on like life and like human struggle and overcoming things and being in a dark place and getting out of it and sometimes feeling like you're still stuck in it. Like it's just kind of all that wrapped in one, like it's the ebbs and flows of life and human experience.
Absolutely. So pre-orders are live now. You guys are going to be hitting the road super hard in 2025. So if you miss a show one time, there's going to be another chance further on down the road.
Sure.
I mean, you guys have come through Portland so many times in the last couple of years. So yeah. Anything else that you kind of want to put out there before we kind of wrap up here?
And I think holiday show tickets are on sale. The album release tickets rather are on sale, and pre-orders are up for the Hart. So get your copy while you can, man. That's about it. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I mean, I know that it's East Coast time, so it's a little bit later in the night, and
all good.
I know you don't do a lot of interviews, so I appreciate you kind of sketching out the time with me.
It's not something I really love to do, to be honest, but I've been enjoying it recently, like a lot. So I thank you for having me on. It's been sick.